have to find a defender who you're like, right, this is going to be our defender for the next God knows how many years. You just need to find a stopgap to do what Mark Guehi would have done for a year. And then the summer transfer window in 2026, when you were anticipating losing him anyway, then you can go and roll out for the, for the centre half that you really want if you think there's no one in the market.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, he probably still makes the move, doesn't he? Like, he probably does still move to Liverpool, whether it's this summer or it's the following summer.
Yeah. I was going to say, you see, because he's done the medical, passed the medical, and they've agreed a deal, doesn't that mean that we can just, whatever Glasner says, we could just sign him?
I mean, that's probably the beauty of the situation, isn't it? If Steve Parish does literally decide, you know what, fuck you, like we need this physical money, then he just signs and it's done. I think the only thing that potentially stops this now is if Steve Parish does go, right, we'll surrender the 35 million to keep Oliver Glasner happy, which I still don't see that happening. Or Mark Guehi literally turns around and goes, you know what, I'll come back actually, and I'll stay for another year. But again, imagine if it was Glasner and he went to a club. Let's say he's Palace now. Let's say Real Madrid, right? Real Madrid wanted him as the manager, so he flies over to Spain. There's a couple of hours left to do a deal. He does all the signing on stuff, does all the chat about how he's going to do his tactics and how he's going to play, gets everything sorted, and then at the last minute, Palace just go, actually, now we're not going to release you. Imagine how you would feel, and then Real Madrid go, well, look, we'll either wait a year for you, or in that year, actually, we might find someone better and go for them. Like, you'd feel like your whole world was falling apart because you were this far away from from the biggest thing ever to happen in your career.
True.
Like, it must. I feel so sorry for Mark Guehi and how he must be feeling right now.
Yeah.
And he's been so professional as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, definitely. I think out of all of the players so far that's had these little bits of drama and stuff, he's been pretty clinical, man. He's just gone about his business, and even when was it Dean Henderson?
Yeah,
pushing him to go and say that goodbye to the fans. Obviously, some people could take it two different ways. It's like, why is he not saying bye? Like, that's a bit rude, but he's just trying to be respectful and show, look, okay, maybe it might not happen, so I don't want to be pushing out a story that, like, all the wrong narrative. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
when I saw that last night, when I saw that whole Dean Henderson trying to push him and Mark Guehi refusing, that, like, I've wanted Mark Guehi all summer, but that just made me want him even more because it just epitomizes like the captain and the leader that he is. Of like, look, whether I go Liverpool or not, tonight's not about me. It's about the club and it's about you lot. It's about the team winning 3-0 away at a difficult ground. Don't make it about me. I just think, like, you don't need a background check because you can just see from the interviews alone that he is such a Liverpool player and such a top guy.
Yep, 100%. You could see it all the way through him, man. And of course, his personality is great, but him as a footballer, he's the top quality, man. And of course, when there's a player of that caliber involved in the transfer market, it's never going to be straightforward, especially when it comes with us. I don't know why we always seem to have. It's never straightforward.
No,
There's always sort of drama.
Whether it's transfers or cup finals or if Liverpool are involved, it's going to basically recede your hairline and take a few years off your life. Like
1,000%.
Oh man, I'd be so happy if I reach the age of fucking 40 following this football club. Like, it is hard, man. It is hard.
It is. It really is.
But yeah, I mean, do you know what's annoying about this as well? Though, what's pissing me off is I wanted to come on here and I wanted to just chat about Alexander Isak's going to be in the front line.
yeah,
Mark Guehi, Kanate's back on form. Virgil van Dijk, Leone, Joe Gomez look really good off the bench. You know,
yeah.
talk about the win over Arsenal, and now how we can build on that even more. And unfortunately, this Mark Guehi drama is overtaking it. I mean, we are literally, if we're going off David Ornstein's reporting, we're all just spamming Twitter waiting for the outcome of this phone call. And as he says there, we've only got 30 minutes left. And that, bearing in mind as well, so that's 30 minutes left of this window. We can extend it if Liverpool and Palace submit a deal sheet to take it to 9 p.m. Then maybe that should fill us with a little bit of confidence. Because if this deal was off, they'll just roll it out at 7 p.m. and say, right, job's a good one. So if they do file a deal sheet to go over the 7 p.m. Deadline, then that's positive. But we'll have to we'll have to wait and see. I'm currently just absolutely spamming Twitter to see if we if we
What do you
get
think
anything.
what do you think of Elliot?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm gutted about Harv leaving, and he's one of them, isn't he? Where he reminds me of what we would all be like if we played for Liverpool. Like he feels like a fan who's won a competition to play, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful
No,
way.
yeah, I get
I
it.
mean it in a sense of like when he's like flipping Richarlison off and like winds up opposition fans, and every chance he gets to kiss the badge, and you watch like the behind the scenes videos that Liverpool do, and he's always the one who's like you can just tell he's so happy to be there and so happy to be a Liverpool player. Losing that out of the dressing room and losing that, for us as a fan base, I think it's always going to be difficult. But on the flip side, because I love him so much, I want to see him play football.
I hear that. I
And
hear
the Gaffer don't rate him, does he? Do you know what I mean? So if the Gaffer
Neither
doesn't
do I,
rate
to
him,
be honest, but it is what it is. I think I think the level that we're at. Um, I mean, he's not a bad player at all. Actually, he's just not at the level that I believe he should be to play
mm,
football for Liverpool Football Club. Um, but saying that, he's done some great work while he's been here. He's scored some important goals. He's been a part of important goals. So respect to him for doing what he did when he was here. But for us to get to the level where it's going to be difficult for teams to catch up with us, we need to be letting players like that go and play regular
mm,
football elsewhere, rather than making it a situation that we need to put Elliot on because we like Elliot. It's not. It's not. It shouldn't be about that. And
yeah,
it's the same thing that goes for Endo as well. I think Endo is a great guy, great human being, but he shouldn't be coming onto the pitch because we like Endo, and Endo he's he's just extra legs. Every player that should be coming onto the field should be coming onto the field to make an impact in a positive way, not to just like close the gaps or just make up the numbers, help us get to the 91st minute or the 90th
yeah.
minute. I don't. I'm not really a fan of that. I think it's quite disrespectful, to be honest. But it's part of football. If the manager feels that you can do a job in 2 minutes of the game, because anything can happen in the last 2 minutes of the game. So yeah, that's just part of it. But I just think for Elliot, it's a great move. Going to
Mm.
Aston Villa, that is a superb move. I think Aston Villa is a great side with Emery trusting him. I think it would be a great move for him.
I think I think it might as well. It might, because of the deal being a small loan, giving them a season to find the money to pay for him, might also sweeten our relationships with Aston Villa if we
Rogers.
get if obviously we're interested in Morgan Rogers in the future. I think coming back to your point about those players off the bench, I think in an ideal world you have a squad of everyone who can make the same impact. Basically you bring in starters off the bench to come in. You do. I think you do need one or two Endo's players who know their role and are happy to go, you know what, I'll go the whole season and just play cup games in the last 10, 15 minutes, because those players are important. But I agree with your sentiment of, I think you can still do that with maybe that little bit more quality. I think that midfield is an interesting one to watch next summer. You know, I would, if Adam Wharton is available, then Liverpool are going to be there next year. There's no doubt about that. Liverpool won't stand still if a player like that becomes available on the market, unless we were stacked with quality in midfield. Now there is question marks around, obviously, whether Endo would stick around next year or want to go and play football. I I don't envision a world personally where Endo leaves and Adam Wharton comes in, because one of Adam Wharton, Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Wirtz, or Jones, whilst we've got Trainioni as well coming through, a few of those seven are gonna be on the bench, and they are all players who can play from the start.
Yeah.
So keeping all of them is going to be, keeping all of them happy is going to be a difficult task. So you might see a Curtis Jones maybe move on and then Adam Wharton come in, or God forbid, there's been talk of Real Madrid interested in Alexis McAllister, or like Liverpool have done this summer. I could just be completely wrong, and Arne Slot goes, "Fuck that! I'm just going to build this absolute Galacticos super squad, and I'll just try and fit them all in. We'll play Verge at the back on his own, and we'll just throw everybody everywhere, and we'll just see how it goes." Seems to be the approach. I mean, we had a number 10 playing right back on against the Arsenal. We've
True.
now signed Alexander Isak, and he spoke about playing them as a two. But then you've got Florian Wirtz and Mo Salah. So where do they fit in? Like
I,
it's
with Mo Salah, I feel like we need to start finding ways to just live life after Mo Salah, because during the games it's very difficult. I'm sure I'm not the only person that feels this way, but a lot of people are scared to voice their opinion in this way. Watching Mo Salah play 90 minutes of football is very, very frustrating for me. However, when you kind of just know some way, somehow, he's going to either score or give an assist, you just have to just watch. And that's like watching Liverpool in general. It's a frustrating situation, but at some point, some way, somehow, we're gonna score and win the game, or just win the game in general. And it's obviously a bunch of individuals that create the collective of the team. But when you're watching a player that is supposed to be the greatest winger to grace the Premier League, and a lot of people call him that, it's difficult to understand why he makes easy chances look so hard, when he would miss one or he would miss a penalty in real situations where we need these goals. When you feel like you can bring in a young, hungry player, I feel like at least do that to keep him hungry, keep him on his toes. Even though he comes into the squad every single season looking in tip top shape, and I respect that. If there's one thing I respect, his fitness. That's He's the best ever, ever. Coming into the season every single time ready. He's the best ever, along with Cristiano Ronaldo. But Ronaldo, when he was in the
yeah.
Premier League, I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo was looking like Salah. At his age as well, he's 33 years old, and he still looks the way he does, and he still moves quite agile, and you know what I mean. He still looks the part. It's just it's a consistency. I feel like he's been always like this, where he just misses so much, but then he scores. He'll be missing in the game and then he scores or he assists. And I feel like he just needs to step that up and he can do it. But if he can't anymore, there should be somebody else there to
Mm.
not replace but just fill in for
Yeah,
now.
I think I think if you were realistic, you knew he weren't going to replicate last season this season because last season was just mental. You know, he was incredible last year, and to ask him to do that again was always going to be a tough task. Like I think that's the sign of a top player is even when you're playing poor, you end up getting a goal or assist. The Arsenal game was a slight worry for me as I felt like he was quite off it. Like the first touch was poor. I thought his decision making in and around the box was unlike him. It was a little bit rushed. Um, it was a little bit in between at times of like whether it was a cross or a shot, whether it was a pass or a dribble. He just felt like he was just a little bit off it. But as I've discussed on here and a few other places before, that for me, that's one of the main reasons why I'm so excited about Alexander Isak. Is I'm now not worried about life after Mo. My worry about life after Mo was and Verge. How many world class players are we going to have? You know, in the squad because we're losing two. Allison's probably going to go at some point as well, and it's like when you start losing world class players like that, if you don't bring world class players in, your project can flip on its head quite quickly, and then obviously what you've got planned for the next 3-4 years can change. Whereas we've signed Florian Wirtz, world class, will become even better. Signing Alexander Isak for me is that takes that weight that I feel about losing Mo away because it's like right, well, when we lose Mo, what are we worrying about? Well, we're going to lose a lot of goals and we're going to lose a lot of assists. We brought assists in with Florian Wirtz and we're bringing a shit ton of goals in with Alexander Isak. So life after Mo for me feels a little bit more comfortable now that I know Alexander Isak is he's going to be here for the future.
Mm.
But I agree that on that right hand side, it is now a case of what is the future looking like after Mo. I mean, there was talk, weren't there, of maybe Elise next summer. You know, him being one of the targets. There's Malik Fofana has been mentioned.
Yeah.
Antoine Semenyo at Bournemouth's been mentioned. Um, Obviously we've got Rio Engamoa, but he's more left than right. Outside of Elise, if we are going to continue the way we play, I can't really think of many top class right wingers with a left foot, who come in and affect the game as much as Mo.
Yeah.
So maybe it is all out for Elise next summer, and he becomes the not the Mo Salah replacement, but he takes Mo's future. He takes that right wing role in the future.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see. I get what you're saying there, Adam, on the comment saying Salah was playing for a new contract. One thing I would say is Mo probably had enough credit in the bank to have an all right season and still get a new deal. There was enough love from the fans. He's still as we've mentioned, even when he's not playing well, he's still getting goals and assists. I think he had enough in the bank to angle for a new deal, regardless really of his season, unless it was an absolute shit show. Um, but you also have to remember that bar that second half against Arsenal, where Mo was a lot better, to be fair, bar that second half against Arsenal, the first 2.5 games of the season, we've been quite iffy in our performances as well, haven't we? We've not been great off the ball. On
Yeah.
the ball, we've looked a little bit slow and a little bit pedestrian and a bit in between. The more settled that we are as a squad, and the more that Mo gets used to his new players, I think obviously that'll settle down Mo more as well. One thing that I thought was interesting, it was on. I don't think it was on Sky before the game, but it was on Sky socials. Mo did an interview saying that he's still trying to get used to Ekatike.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I've seen it. He was saying like it's not the same as Darwin and Diaz, where he said I know what they want. He said I'm still trying to get used to Hugo of like sometimes he wants to come short, other times he wants to go long, sometimes he likes it at feet, other times he likes it in behind. And it's like sometimes we do forget that. He's trying to strike up a relationship with Wirtz. He's trying to strike up a relationship with Hugo Ekitike. He's now got Alexander Isak that he's got to try and strike up a relationship with as well. And obviously you got Cody on the other wing, and he's also got a new fullback. You forget that as well. He's got a new fullback. He's got to get used to in Frimpong. There is. I'm not making excuses, but there's probably rhyme and reason for why he's been a little bit off it.
I
Um,
mean, it's for me when I watch him very closely, and it's not been well. Okay, this season you can give him the benefit of the doubt that he's playing with new players, so it's going to be a little bit worse than what he would normally play like when things are not going well. Because I've watched him and I've just watched and thought, why is he so out of this game? I don't understand. And this is last season. He was still great, but there was times where he was just like completely missing, and I'm
mm,
like, what the hell? This is the same team you've been playing with these guys. What's the problem? But now he is just like ghost, completely ghost. If he hasn't scored, then what has he done? Nothing. And it's worrying for me. Even when we win games, I still look at what could have been, and it's not. It's you shouldn't just look at it. Oh yeah, we won the game, so it doesn't matter. That's not how it works, because later on down the line, that thing that you was just trying to avoid, trying to fix, will come up in the end, and then it's just like, oh, you're surprised, but you shouldn't be surprised, because you should have seen it coming when you kept doing the same thing, and the results weren't coming out. So with with Salah, I know it's an unpopular opinion because of how many goals he scored and all of this stuff, but I always say it: if you're not scoring goals, what else are you doing? Because football is just not about scoring goals. Your
I th-
your position, sorry, your position in the field, in the team, is not just scoring goals. It's about helping the team.
I think I think you're absolutely spot on. And for me, as an attacker especially, if you aren't getting goals and assists, then yeah, you still have to be you still have to be making an impact. Now you might just have a day where you're like, you know what, I'm off it on the ball today. Like can't get it out my feet, passes aren't on. I'm just not feeling it. So when you do that, when it feels like that, I always think as a player, the way you get yourself back into form in a game and longer is, well, you know what, you start with the foundations. I'm going to work my fucking socks off. I'm going to chase back. I'm going to tackle someone. I'm going to get the crowd up. I'm going to hit someone. I'm going to complete my first few passes, and that'll make me feel better, and I'll start to build in the game. I thought he did that against Arsenal. To be fair, I thought that was the hardest him and Gakpo have worked all season so far, and I think that was one of the reasons why we looked a little bit more defensively solid. So that's good to see. But there is definitely an element of, I saw a few people mentioning it, saying, you know, maybe we need to maybe we need to have that conversation about him going forward. And there was a few people saying if it gets to the last 15, 25 minutes of the game and Mo's not having that same impact, we need to look at the bench, and maybe bring him off. If we're a bit stronger in depth now that Alexander Isak's come in, then we can probably hear that. I don't think you should be bringing. I don't think you should be bringing Mo off, say Chiesa, for example, at the moment, and playing Chiesa on the right wing, as I still think Mo offers those big moments, doesn't he? So you can't ignore that fact.
Mm.
Um, but I agree. If Liverpool are to have a successful season, Mo Salah will more than likely have to have a successful season, and for him to do that, it definitely can't just be. It can't just be a goal against Bournemouth when we're already winning the game, or an assist. An assist when we're like 3-4 up. He needs to be there in those big moments. Against Bournemouth, he was. Obviously against Newcastle, it was. I think it was a tough game for all attackers against Newcastle because the ball was in play. Was it 40% of the game or something like that? Which is mental, by the way. Like,
Yeah,
to have a game in the Premier League and the ball only be on the pitch for 40% of the 90 minutes is awful.
yeah, that's crazy.
Um, So yeah, it's obviously now we have this fucking stupid international break, 3 games into the season, which pisses me right off. Especially, by the way, why is it starting on the deadline day? Why are we signing Alexander Isak and potentially Mark Guehi? And I've got to sit there now watching YouTube and wanking off for 2 weeks, and I can't even watch
The
them
only
play,
good
man.
thing about this year international break is the injuries that we received
True.
in the game, and
And Alexander Isak gets 2 weeks of training and playing a bit.
exactly, and he could possibly play for Sweden, so we get to
Yeah,
see him playing for Sweden, and which means if he plays for Sweden, he could be ready to play when he gets back.
yeah, that is true.
So there's a light at the end of the tunnel for that one. But yeah, everyone hates international week, man, and we just hope that everyone comes back fresh because it's always when it's us, it's always international week that messes us up. Always. We've somehow come out with 9 points. If we go to international, I'm not even going to say it. Let's just come back and enjoy that international break, and hopefully everything's fine.
Yeah, it's you are right. It is light in the end of the tunnel that he'll hopefully be able to get some minutes for Sweden. I mean, I suppose we'll have 2 weeks of being able to watch the all the media stuff that they do for them anyway, all the behind the scenes, signing videos and stuff like that, which builds the excitement. But yeah, we're now 8 minutes. We are 8 minutes away from the end of the transfer window. There's still no more news on Mark Guehi. There's no news on a deal sheet being submitted.
They said Liverpool have 10 minutes to submit a deal sheet for Mark Gay. Gay is still in London after completing his medical to join Liverpool.
Yeah. It
Liverpool
was
must have signed.
Red Memorabilia, who are obviously a Liverpool memorabilia Twitter account, who, to be fair, tend to be quite good with information. The bloke does have a few sources and has been all right this summer. As said, we have been told that Mark Gay deal will go through. Apparently, according to Chris Williams, who's one of the journalists or ex-journalists who used to cover the Bundesliga, who has a few sources, has said that Mark Gay is waiting for an update inside the Liverpool offices in London. Liverpool's senior staff arrived just after 6 p.m. to travel back to Liverpool with him. They're all still waiting. Indy Kaler, who now has become a trusted source, which is mental, has said, exclusive, this will be Oliver Glasner's last season at Crystal Palace. Any new contract signed will have a release clause. This contract, if signed, will be the PR marketing reasons only. The manager is very ambitious and eyeing a particular job up in the Premier League with a little devil emoji for obviously Manchester United. Yeah, we're now down to 7 minutes.
So we
Still
have
nothing.
minutes to get this deal sheet signed.
Yeah, I mean, media always report behind what is the actual real live event. So for all we know, that deal sheet might already be through, and
That's
it'll
true.
be, there is obviously that chance, but
That's true.
it's it's just one of them. Just spamming Twitter and waiting for someone to just update us with something. I'd rather it just be
Fair.
like the
For
deal's
all
going to
you
go
know,
through.
all of this could have happened, and the deal probably has been done, and it's just making it go down to the wire.
I can't be asked. I can't be asked with a deal sheet, and then it'll be Liverpool and Palace are now going to attempt to potentially complete the deal before
Yeah,
9 p.m. But Oliver Glasner is still holding out for the player not to move. So basically, what we've done for the last 2 hours, we have to do for another 2 hours,
yeah.
and just sit here scratching our asses waiting.
I guarantee the deal sheet gets signed before 7, and then it's another 2 hours, maybe 5 minutes before 9 p.m. Guehi's been signed.
If it is the case, I hope we announce it with him like on the phone, and he's like, "There's always Liverpool," and then just puts it down on Glasner.
Oh my god.
How do you think? So I've seen loads of people who have said like we should do the we should do the Alexander Isak thing, like, with the thumbs up or something like that, and try and have like a cheeky little jab
Newcastle.
at Newcastle. I don't see us doing that. I just don't think we're that kind of club. But it'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Arsenal, Arsenal would do that definitely.
Right. So I need to ask like people this because I don't get it. The Arsenal did like a full video promo before the game yesterday, if you saw, and it was the whole like it was like make a statement or something like that, and it was an entire video montage in their away kit.
Yeah.
Is this something that they usually do for games? Because like that seems a bit weird, that like tempting that kind of fate and being that so blasé about we're here to like take over and we're here to make a statement and stuff. It's just another Premier League game.
I think the signings that they made got to their heads a little bit.
Mm.
So and the way we've been playing compared to them was like, we've got Liverpool, man. We've got them where we want them. We drew at their ground last season. We're gonna beat them, no problem. And they got it wrong.
They got it completely wrong.
We may have lost him. Nah, we ain't lost him. We ain't lost him.
No news at all. Nothing's happened today. No, nothing at all. Absolutely nothing.
Someone said London said don't sleep on Ekatike. Yeah, that is true. I think Ekatike can be just as deadly as Isak eventually.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know if it is Ekatike on the left or it's Isak on the left and through the middle. But the thought of them two playing together is it's pretty exciting, isn't it?
It's insane. I think Ekatike will be on the left. He looks more of a winger than Isak.
Yeah.
And he's got sublime feet.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
He's much more quicker and stronger on the ball than Gakpo. For me, like Gakpo is very slow. He's good, very good, but he's gotten better. He's really improved, but he just seems very slow to react to things and to make a move. And he always has this same movement, the same pattern. Go this way, then that way. He's always cutting in.
Yeah.
He's not unpredictable. He's very predictable. So we need to at least have them both fighting for that position, so Gakpo can elevate. Because I feel like when Diaz was there, Gakpo was on fire. He was just bagging goals, no problem.
Mm.
And even when he did cut in, there was no way of stopping Gakpo from taking that shot and scoring. So I feel like with Ekitike, he's unpredictable. He just has this. He's on the same page as Verts. They had this link up, this chemistry and understanding that you shouldn't really take for granted. And I feel like every time they've taken off Ekitike and Verts, it's just for some reason gone wrong. So hopefully Ekitike can get a few games of 90 minutes under his belt, because he needs to play a full game, because I feel like he can impact the game anytime of the game.
Oh, so Mike McGrath from the Telegraph has just put out saying deal sheet set to be submitted for Mark Guehi's move from Crystal Palace to Liverpool, but the deal is in the balance. Medical completed. Player and Premier League champions want it to happen, but out of their hands. Okay. So well, obviously we know the player wants, but the player and Premier League. The player still wants to move. Which means if that's the case, then you would imagine that phone call hasn't gone the way that Glasner wanted it to go.
Yeah.
I mean, we are now on 7 p.m, so the window is officially shut Obviously, apart from the fact that they can be deal
Apparently,
sheets.
apparently, he's been submitted.
Yeah. Seeing that Palace have signed that Jaden Canvot, but he's a 20-year-old French defender that they've been interested in for a while now. So I don't think that one is related. I mean, first of all, like the transfer window's closed, which is great, and Liverpool have had the best transfer window out of any club this season, arguably ever. I think it rivals the Real Madrid one where they got Xabi Alonso, Arbeloa, Kaká, Ronaldo, Benzema.
That transfer window was insane.
Yeah, and then just a few others as well sprinkled in there for laughs. But I think this one rivals it definitely. So that's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Liverpool have had a successful summer transfer window. We are now literally just waiting on the announcement of Alexander Isak Premier League transfer record. Obviously, a huge signing, and it could be even better. Palace have just announced their new defender. That is JD Gamvot. So that's positive.
Yeah.
We're now just waiting to see if they've submitted a deal sheet. So the Premier League have tweeted clubs can still complete transfers after 7 p.m. if they have submitted a deal sheet. The transfer deal sheet is we undesigned declare the negotiation and the transfer loan of player blah 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 from blah 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 to blah 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 prior to the closing of the window. Oh wait there. So it's we undersigned declare that negotiations for the transfer/loan of player X from transfer club to transferee club have been concluded prior to the closing of the transfer window. Right, okay. So the deal sheet, it's not like an extension to keep negotiating. It's a little bit more of a no. We're submitting this with the intentions of completing the deal.
The deal, yeah, no, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, but I presume it can still fall through if it doesn't go past the 9 p.m. one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why we would submit a deal sheet if it's not going to go through. I don't know. Right. Anyway, that's us. That's us, guys. Yeah. If anything happens, then I'm sure one of the lads will be able to pop on and break it. But it looks like we're all going to have to just wait for another 2 hours and see if anything happens. The positives are Mark Guehi has completed his medical, completed all the contracts and things like that. Everything is done. Literally, everything is complete. It just needs the clubs to sign off on it. So it's not like this is a 2-hour rush to try and get everything over the line. Everything is done. We just need both clubs to go, yep, sound, let's get it over and done with. And he'll be on his way to Liverpool. But we all know that's an agonising wait. Thank you for joining me, big man.
Mm-hmm. No problem, brother.
I appreciate it. And I'll see you soon, Derek. See you later, everybody.
Take it easy, mate.
And you, mate. See you, guys.